hop on real quick. This is going to be really short. So short that I didn't even bother mounting my phone. Regarding like the state of the world and everything, this is just something that I wanted to put out there. Because I see a lot of people saying, it's funny because like as I roll up to the light over here, there's a license plate. It's like amen. So that's ironically timed, but just so you have the proof. Wait, did I get it all the way? Oh wait, it's that way. It's that far. Anyway, there's a lot of people like, I go through like Facebook Reels and like things like that, and there's a overwhelming underlying current of we're fed up with all this shit. Like the threads of division, I'm not gonna say are non-existent, but deep down I know that they're losing their power. Those little threads of division are losing their power the more that we get angry. And here's the thing, right? A lot of people think that anger is going out in the streets, making a bunch of noise, being destructive, and that's not necessarily true. I would say that's misguided anger, if not fully orchestrated, paid for by those who want to sow the seeds of division and things like that themselves. Because it's true, like how come there haven't been people coming together en masse in the streets and all that, right? It's because the average citizen isn't going to do that, and it's not because they don't care. You know what I mean? So think about it like this, okay? A lot of people will say in a relationship, especially with women, as long as the woman is fighting, there's something to hold on to, right? As long as the woman is mad, as long as she's verbalizing, expressing, whatever, then you still have something to hold on to in that situation. And you can hope that there is salvageability, okay? But the part that becomes dangerous is when the woman goes silent, okay? I think that's when people know, when you're dealing with a woman, that this shit is done and things are about to change and there's no stopping it and there's no changing it. And I really think as a society, that's where we're at. We're in the silent woman stage, hell hath no fury, do you know what I mean, type situation. And to the people that are concerned about the state of the future, I would tell you, do not invest your emotions in worrying about what you cannot control or necessarily fully predict. I'm not saying that people can't, like, I know there are people that make money off predicting things, right? But you never know how something could change. You never know how something can, you know what I mean? Like, how many times have we been like, oh, I didn't see that coming on my bingo card, right? So I just kind of wanted to put that out there because I feel very strongly, I have a very strong feeling that just because you're not seeing people out in the streets, wanting government official heads and whatever, sometimes things have a way of working themselves out without a whole lot of orchestration. You know what I mean? Individually, when we're all feeling the same way, that all feeds into the overall collective. And then once the overall collective becomes saturated with a certain, I guess you could say, vibration, intention, whatever you want to call it, then you will start seeing things happening that you can't necessarily even explain how it's happening. And I'm definitely seeing things that are making me question stuff, right? And I thought I'd already been through my questioning phase. Like, you know what I mean? And the more that things go on, the more I'm questioning everything again, like, yeah, I questioned it before, but now I'm questioning it even deeper, and it's easy even in that to get lost and have this feeling of hopelessness and fear and things like that. And those are definitely, that's the vibration where they want us to be, right? You're like, oh, who's they? You always like, who's they? I don't necessarily know who they is, but I know there's a they. Okay, I know there's a they. And it's not the theys that are the talking heads that we see. It's the puppet masters even behind that, right? Of the theys. And there's a lot going on over here today. So I just wanted to hop on real quick. I don't normally hop on Mondays. I don't know. Did I do a video on Friday? I think I did. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I did, actually. I don't remember. I really don't remember. No, I think I did, because I took my dog to work. See, can't even remember shit. 3 days ago, can't remember. Someone's in my parking spot. So, but yeah, I wanted to hop on, and I just wanted to be like, you know, don't feel like because you're not seeing people outraged that means there's no happenings energetically under the surface, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And just because you're not seeing people come out in droves and being angry and setting shit on fire and whatever doesn't mean the change is not coming. You know what I mean? For a long time, I'll say for a long time, when the Bernie movement thing happened, I was like all about that. Now I'm not. Now I'm glad it didn't work out. See, that's the thing, right? Back then I thought that was the way, but now I've learned differently, that would not have been the way that I think things should go personally. And so at the time, you know, you feel let down because the shit doesn't go the way that you think it should go. But you get older, you get wiser, you get more in touch with yourself, hopefully, and you realize, you know what, I don't know that would have been the best outcome. So sometimes you have to trust that when things don't work out in your favor or the way that you think they should go, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. That doesn't mean that it's a problem. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It means maybe you just need to wait and see. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I just, because people were saying like, hey, like I was just watching this video and this guy was like talking about, he's like, I think we just need to like kind of the gist of it was eliminating all political representatives basically, and getting back to we the people, starting fresh as we the people, which I 100% agree with. Ever since the 2016 election went fucking sideways, I have felt that we should be much more, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Much more self-governed. And I wholeheartedly agree with a we the people approach to the world. And I would have never thought when I was a child, with everything that I was going through, that I would grow up and this would be the things that are happening in the world, the things that are happening. I mean, like, you always know there's probably going to be war. You always know whatever, you know what I mean? And it's never what they tell us it's going to be and whatever, but I just mostly wanted to get on and just say, don't feel lost and hopeless because you feel like things aren't happening. You know, change is gradual than all at once. And before you know it, you don't even remember the way things used to be sometimes. And sometimes that's for the betterment, and sometimes it's not, you know. So don't think that same principle is not used against us, because it is. But don't take that truth and run with it in the vein of fear and all that. You know what I mean? And I was going somewhere with this, and then I totally lost the plot. But I mostly just wanted to get on and just be like, just because you're not seeing people up in arms. Oh, that's what it was. So during the whole, one thing that I do think is true from the whole Bernie movement thing is that the revolution will not be televised. It's one thing that was always said. It was always said. And I think there's truth to that. You know what I mean? And I think the revolution happens every day when people wake up, when people become true to themselves, when people really ask themselves what's going on and what really makes sense and what really, you know, the truth, whether you want to believe it or not. When you hear something and it doesn't feel like it's resonating, you know what I mean? Or you feel unsure about it, that's your inner knowing. And you don't have to go along to get along. You know what I mean? Like, you just, it's not necessary. Excuse me. It's not necessary to do that, you know. And I think we're reaching a time where people need to be a little bit more brave and believing in themselves, which I know can be hard with all the trauma and stuff like that. But I just wanted to hop on real quick and just say that, like, don't think just because you don't see people out in the streets, the change is not coming. The change is not on the horizon. You know what I mean? And I don't think that in order to have change necessarily it has to be violent. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm not saying that because I can't predict the future, but I do know that there are more of us saying this will not stand than not. So if you're feeling hopeless and you're feeling the weight of the world today, just know that there are other people that think and feel like you, and you know, even though we can say that people don't always get justice, I think that overall there is, I don't know how, like, in my mind I can, you know, but I'm trying to articulate it. It's kind of like, it's not that justice will prevail, but it's just that humanity will prevail. You know what I mean? Like, the goodness of humanity, which they try to strip away from us every fucking day with all the fucking bullshit, it's hard to erase. You know what I mean? So just know and trust and have faith that, you know, it does sometimes get dark before the dawn, but something is coming. I don't know what. I don't know how to explain it. The feeling that I have, I don't know. But more importantly, regardless of what I think and feel, just know that something's going to have to change because everybody's feeling the same way. So take care. If you can't see nobody else today, please stand yourself. Bye.